If I give you a boat, here's this free boat. You can have it forever, but you got to take care of it. A lot of people will take the boat and go fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing. Everything's all good, but a lot of people aren't cleaning off the rudders. A lot of people aren't repainting the boat, giving it a new finish. A lot of people aren't checking the boat for leaks. A lot of people aren't seeing if the horn works, seeing if the emergency lights work. So what happens? Eventually, over time, the boat sinks. Or a lot of people, they see like a hole pop up. They'll do a quick fix to it. They'll get like duct tape and then plaster up the hole. And the analogy to that is a lot of people, they'll keep using a system, even if it's not the best system, even if it doesn't always work. They don't want to take the time back to think and reevaluate because they're afraid they're going to lose. They take their foot off the gas when they have to, but they never take their foot off the gas to prevent getting it to that point.
Eating to live, yeah, I'm living to eat. Catch me enjoying vegan recipes. Film for chlorophyll.
Greetings, it's your boy Gartatia. I am in and out with this one. Got to go to work. Before I dropped to work, just had to drop some gems on how a lot of you all are using systems, how a lot of you all are using processes that no longer serve you. A lot of us, we get caught up in the grooves. We get caught up in the habits, be caught up in the process of doing something. A lot of times a system that is outdated, a system that doesn't serve us anymore, a system that is familiar to us, but is actually wasting time. It's actually making us less efficient. And we ain't got time for that. A lot of us entrepreneurs, we getting the thing done. We ain't got time for any extra BS, right? It's just, we just want to lock in, get as much produced, get as much output, results to serve as possible. This came to me, I was basically, okay, so you all know my setup. I edit most of my videos. I do the audio for it. I have to have that whole setup complete. I like to get things done. And for the longest time, I've been using a different computer, an older computer, to edit the videos. That older computer had a lot of software. It had my Photoshop. It had my Adobe Premiere Pro. It had my FL Studios for the microphones and audio editing. So it was my go-to computer. For the past 2.5, 3 years, it's all I've ever known. That's the only computer I've used. So I kind of grown this attachment to it. I've kind of grown this ownership, this relationship with it, where it's like, without thinking, I just automatically like come back, sit down, and it's like turn it on. Even though I have a whole nother computer on the side, it's just that thing about, it's almost like, you can get all these new clothes for Christmas or your birthday, but you know how you'll still wear your same clothes, even though the other clothes may be nicer, even though you want to wear the other clothes. It's just, you've gotten into the habit of just wearing the old clothes without thinking, that your brain automatically wants to just slip back in those grooves and not having to think. So you end up wearing the old clothes even though you have the new clothes. So that's kind of what it was. It had a lot of problems. It would crash randomly. It would shut down. It'd be buggy. The screen, literally, I had to plug it into another monitor for the screen to even work. So not by any means a very functional computer. However, it still worked. It still kind of got the job done. It still kind of still edited videos. It still kind of edited production, the audio. So I stuck with it, even though sometimes I probably knew in the back of my head, maybe on the new computer I would have to download some software. Maybe on the new computer I would have to do some updates. It's just that idea of the fact that something unfamiliar with the probability of it being of efficiency equal to or greater than, something about that, like me not being completely sure that making the switch and kind of downloading the new apps on that other computer, me not completely knowing that would be a better option to keep my old computer, kind of kept me from never like moving on. So what did I do? Even though it was a whole bunch of BS I had to put up with, I just dealt with it because it was my good old computer. I was used to it. I was used to how the keys felt on my fingers. I even got used to hooking it up to my TV because the screen didn't work. And then that process, like, it was so tedious when I think about it, right? But guess what? A miracle happened. One day, the main reason I used the computer for, the Adobe Premiere video editing software, just stopped working. And I tried restarting it. I tried rebooting it, this, that, and the third. And no matter what I did, just didn't work. So that kind of was, to me, that was kind of a convincer that, okay, this computer's not for you. It's time to, bury the hatchet It's time to, move on to bigger and better things. So I was almost forced to no longer use the old system. I was forced because it didn't work anymore. So it was not until that point was I forced to use my other computer. And I went into it like, oh, my videos are going to take forever now. Or, oh, I might not be able to edit this video. And all these negative thoughts going into it. But because I didn't have a choice, I was forced into unfamiliar territory. I was forced to be uncomfortable. I was forced to take a leap of faith almost. So a lot of people don't have an extra computer, but I was fortunate. They're not my computers. I ain't balling like that. It's my other job. Anywho, so I started using the other computer, and lo and behold, it's like way faster on the other computer. It's almost like it's crazy faster. It's almost like it saves me a whole hour or 2 hours. It's almost almost twice as fast because first of all, the software I was using is a great software, but for the level of editing I was doing, it was taking too long. So this new faster video editor, there's things I can do with one click that I would have to do with 2 or 3 clicks on the old software. So I'm like, wow, where was this all my life? Like, and you kind of go into this, almost regretful mental space where it's, oh, if I would have got on this wave a month ago, or if I would have got on this wave a week ago, I would have saved X amount of time. And so there was still that. But at the end of the day, I was still so grateful that it happened when it did and that I was on the new system. So I tell you this story to say a lot of times we have things that we're used to. A lot of times we have systems that started off as a new practice. Then after 21 days, they became habits. And then after they became habits, we kind of just did this mindlessly. It's almost a ritual. And sometimes these systems can be good for us. Sometimes these systems can be not even bad, but sometimes they're just not ideal. Sometimes they're just not efficient. Sometimes they're limiting you from being your best version, right? A lot of us, we want the new iPhone, we want the new PlayStation 5, we want the new Xbox 720, 1080, I don't know, but then we don't want the new system, right? We want these new appliances, we want these new devices, but when it comes to sometimes it's a belief system, sometimes a belief system or a mindset that doesn't serve us. And because it's familiar, because it's easy, because it doesn't require creativity, right? We often stick to it at the expense of our efficiency, at the expense of our productivity, at the expense of our relationships, at the expense of our precious time. And I just want to submit to you all that don't do what I did. Don't wait until the wheel breaks before you check it up for maintenance. Don't wait until disaster strikes before you change your belief system, or don't wait until the end of the world for you to realize that your view of the world was limited. A lot of times we kind of we see problems. Like I saw that computer kind of falling apart, but instead of taking it to the shop, someone literally even offered to fix it for free. And it's just like I just didn't. I was so selfish just trying to use it because it was convenient to me at any moment that I could, that the very use of trying to use it is what maybe if I would have fixed it earlier, it would have never broke. And that would have been good or bad because I guess I would have still been using that computer, which would be slower. So I guess it's not to fix the old system, it's to get a new system. But the point I'm trying to make is just overall in general, like even personal development or like with your things you use, like your car, your house, your computer, there's this idea called production capacity. Shout out Sean Covey from Seven Habits of Highly Successful People. Read that book, Seven Habits of Highly Successful People. And he mentions this Eisenhower matrix, and it's basically a matrix about the importance of something versus how the urgency of it, right? So it's like the importance is in one column and urgency is in another column. And essentially it basically says that a lot of times we wait, right, for the things that are important to us. We'll keep using them until they're broken. And then when they're broken, then it's urgent now. It's urgent to fix it. It's urgent to, we're stressing. So it's like we're forced to do things in a rush because we didn't do the things that would have helped us never get to the point to have to rush in the present. So we basically always procrastinate doing the things we have to do that would inevitably keep us doing the things we need to do every day if we just did them. I don't know if that makes sense, right? And the concept of production capacity is, if I give you a boat, right, and I say, here's this free boat, all you got to do is, you can have it forever, but you got to take care of it, right? A lot of people will take the boat and go fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing. Everything's all good, but a lot of people, I don't know how boats work, but a lot of people aren't cleaning off the rudders. A lot of people aren't repainting the boat, giving it a new finish. A lot of people aren't checking the boat for leaks. A lot of people aren't seeing if the horn works, seeing if the emergency lights work on the boat. So what happens? Eventually, over time, the boat sinks, right? Sometimes water might pull up in the boat. So production part is, you're using the boat, you're fishing. That's good, right? A lot of people know how to do that, but the production capacity part that a lot of people aren't doing, how can your boat have the capacity to produce, i.e., take you from point A to point B, i.e., help you go fishing, if it doesn't have the capacity to do that? Because these holes keep popping up. And what happens, a lot of people, they see like a hole pop up, or the production capacity, they'll do a quick fix to it, right? They'll get like duct tape and then plaster up the hole with duct tape. Or it'll be like, the paint job is messed up, right? So they'll just like fix the part where the scratch is, but not paint the whole thing. Or like the lights don't work. So instead of getting, new lights or new batteries, they'll take like old batteries from somewhere else and put that there. So the light is never as bright as it could be. Basically, they never want to stop using the boat from production to help it so it can produce more in the future. And the analogy to that is, a lot of people, they'll keep using something, they'll keep using a system, even if it's not the best system, even if it doesn't always work. Is the fact that they're using it, right? They're just using it because they don't want to take a break from the system. They don't want to take the time back to think and reevaluate, because they're afraid they're going to lose. They're afraid that if they take their foot off the gas, even if it's to take the foot off you have to take your foot off the gas when you get an oil change. You have to take your foot off the gas when you get a flat tire. The thing is, people wait until they're forced to take their foot off the gas when they have a car accident, when they have a flat tire, when they need to get oil, need to get gas. These are the times that they take their foot off the gas, when they have to, but they never take their foot off the gas to prevent getting it to that point. When it's like, if you're going to take your foot off the gas anyway, might as well plan when to take your foot off the gas, so that you can plan ahead and still get things done, rather than, oh, I'm just going to keep using it. And then guess what? The time when you need to take your foot off the gas, what might be the most inconvenient time? It's because you didn't wait and plan to refuel that car at the right time. Get that oil check. Get your wheels checked for that bumpy tire, right? So I hope this helped. I got to get out of here, but just want to leave you all with some food for thought about production capacity. That's the word of the day, and production. So you want to always make sure production capacity is at the forefront. You always want to make sure you're maintaining, whatever vehicle you're using on one out of the spectrum, but also remember, sometimes the vehicle you're using is faulty, outdated, and you got to toss it. And don't wait until disaster strikes to toss the vehicle. Do it when you follow your intuition, and do it when all the signs are pointing that this system isn't working. Just let go of your ego, let go of your wanting to be convenient and comfort, and just be free. But yeah, I hope this helped. As always, stay hydrated, stay breathing in that good ass oxygen. And most importantly, stay basic. Lay you.